Like for me, because I've played like zero Fallout games or anything, and then people were talking about this show, and they're like,
Oh no, you don't need to play the games or anything to watch the show. Just like watch the show, it'll be fine.
and that's what I did, and
So welcome to our Fallout Amazon TV show review. I'm joined by Mr. K.
Yo.
And also by Broski. How you doing over there?
yo, what's going on?
So we just finished watching Fallout. We binged the entire show. And I know we're kind of late on this, but I wanted to get on the Fallout trend because I know season 2's happening, right?
Yes.
And there's still more episodes to come. So we wanted to kind of jump onto this. I'll just kind of start with you guys. Without spoiling anything, what did you guys think? What did you like? What did you dislike?
For me, it does a good job of building the world, so it kind of like draws you in. Like, I have some familiarity with the Fallout universe, not too much. Played a couple of the games, never finished one. But, so even for someone like with very surface level knowledge like me, they did a very good job of kind of like, yeah, like showcasing the background, the characters they have there, and then like showing the world and what happened to it and whatnot. Kind of getting you wondering, like, yeah, like what's happening here? Like, I want to find out why this and this and that. They did that really well. Kind of like, yeah, world building, hooks the watcher in. Like, I think even if you have like zero knowledge of what like the Fallout universe is originally, you could kind of get into it and enjoy it pretty well.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, like for me, because I've played like zero Fallout games or anything, and then people were talking about this show, and they're like,
Oh no, you don't need to play the games or anything to watch the show. Just like watch the show, it'll be fine.
and that's what I did, and it's actually really cool just to even just dive into it without playing the games and just see all the different kind of like creatures and everything. I've been really loved like the score of it too, like just
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
the soundtrack and everything. Like it just kind of gives me almost like that BioShock kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just like how they did that and like the score of it, the soundtrack, kind of how it fits and everything. And yeah, it gives me like that BioShock kind of Borderlands kind of feel to it. But I think it was really well done what they did with it.
Do you think it helped you to go right into this kind of blind?
I don't know if it was like maybe better or not better at all. But maybe it kind of was better in ways just because now I'm surprised seeing this thing or that thing or, whereas if I played the games, that'd be like,
Oh yeah, I know this. I know this because I played the games. Like I know what this is all about, and I've seen this before. You know what I mean?
so it was a little bit more surprising in that kind of factor for me, I suppose. So maybe it was better, I guess, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think there's cool things. Like, if you've played the games, then, like, the references will be, like, a cool catch. Like, oh, damn, like, that's the thing from this game.
You
Like,
get way more out of the Easter eggs.
but if you have to have seen or, like, known about the previous, like, franchise, I guess, to enjoy the show itself, then I guess that'd be a little difficult. But if you want to have a bit more, like, open demographic, I can understand some, like, diehard fans being, like, like,
No, like you need to make sure you've played the games if you want to watch the show or whatever.
but, like, from, like,
Yeah.
a marketing's point of view, like, that's just not gonna work, like...
They do a really good job at explaining the world that this is established in, kind of like what's happening. Even if you have no experience with anything Fallout. You know what? One thing with all of these reviews, I have to have like this segment to talk about the acting. The
Yeah,
acting
it's pretty-
always sells me. I like most of the cast, like the Ghoul, like Maximus, like everybody I think puts in a really good performance.
Yeah.
I'd agree, yeah.
In my personal opinion, I think there's room for improvement. It's hard to do a series like this when there's so many different ways you can play. It can vary with the type of play style that you would have.
I mean, that's for sure. I mean, like, it's like, imagine if they made like a Skyrim movie and it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
right?
the protagonist is like a
you
warrior.
you
It's
follow
like, yo,
the warrior.
why didn't they play a mage? Why not an
Right.
archer?
Yeah, no,
I
exactly.
played a stealth guy. Why couldn't they, like, it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, you can't satisfy everything and everybody, but like,
But I really appreciate, because even like you get a sense of like just wandering through the wasteland and like having this like main goal, but then like all of this other stuff happens, and that's what happens in these types of games.
because of that, I would argue that they did a good job of like putting the main cast into like a certain like, so especially Ella Purnell's character Lucy, because like you said, yeah, like they give you a really good sense of like just like exploring a lost world, like not
Yeah.
knowing where to go, just scavenging things as you go, which is I would argue,
Yeah.
no matter what class you play in the game, you're fucking doing that anyways.
Yeah, no,
You know, like, so
absolutely.
like that's something you're doing in the game no matter what. So I feel like if you're speaking about that, they did a pretty good job of like capturing that like basic general action you would almost everybody would take playing the games to kind of like get you
Yeah,
in the
for sure.
in those shoes, you know?
Yeah.
I think adapting a game IP into a movie or a show is always difficult. Games offer the player so many different choices, but in like a show or a movie where there's a set storyline, you're bound to only go a certain direction that the writers decided. So like obviously it's bound to be good for some people and not good for some people, but the point is if you're playing the game, you have control of that, whether as you're watching the show or movie media they produced off of it. There's a certain direction they already took it. So like you're going in for their ride.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, so there's that big difference of like how much control you have over the experience, I guess a bit, you know, like
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying too, because like in an open world RPG, you kind of control the pacing of the content. That's all up to you.
you could speed run that shit, or you could take your like sweet time listening to every dialogue.
One thing I did add on my notes, I just wanted to see them delve more into different vaults.
That's something you gotta like kind of like do a dive on the lore
Yeah.
to learn about, you know, like I would love to see that as well, because like you, I've also watched a couple different lore videos covering like different vaults and like what they were all about. But I think there's a reason why they had already decided on the vaults that we see in season 1, because I feel like you can involve and like go into a lot more of these other vaults and places, but like how many seasons are you gonna need, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. You need so many. I'd be interested just to like see like what else do they got. They're not putting every single thing in there, or maybe they are. I don't know.
I mean, probably not yet, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
So, if you were to give a final verdict, if we were to go with our final verdicts, what would you give Fallout Season 1?
I'd say like out of 10,
Yeah.
like a 8.5 or something. 8.6 maybe.
8.5, 8.6.
That's pretty high.
Yeah. Is that okay?
What determines the 0.1?
I just think like maybe
What-
it deserves a little bit more than an 8.5.
What-
You know? Maybe there's a couple.
If you're that meticulous about it, then the point one could be anything from like a very small detail. Connor, do you think it's an 8 or a 9 then? If it's no decimals,
I think I'd go with an 8 then.
8, yeah.
I would agree with you as well. I do think this is an 8. This is a really solid show. There's room for improvement.
Yeah, for sure.
What they have built here, I don't know what lies ahead for season 2, but what they have right now, the foundation that they have laid, is very exciting. And I look forward to see what they do next.
I agree.
Yeah. 100%.
I didn't mean to cut you off. What were you going to say?
No, I was just gonna say that they say that this series is estimated to have generated an additional $35 to $40 million.
Damn.
Wow. Okay, see,
In-game
you're
sales
pulling up
for
the
this.
numbers.
Season 2's airing. Season 3's coming out at the end of this year.
Confirmed.
And then they probably have many more seasons to come.
Damn.
Do you give a rating?
Both of you guys are at an 8.
Yeah.
I kind of wish I could say something different because I don't want to just be like, yeah,
No.
me too. But like,
No.
I think I would also put it at an 8 because I enjoyed it quite a bit. I also appreciate that they didn't like half-ass or censor like the violence or the gore.
Yes.
Like,
okay, that's a good point.
I
That's a good
I
point.
hate to sound super like edgy and like, oh fuck yeah, I loved it because there was so much blood. But like,
No, they could have easily went a different route.
for
That's
a
a good
setting
point.
like this that's so grim,
yeah.
for a setting that's literally like a post-apocalyptic nuclear world, I'm glad it didn't hold back on like the visceral shit, you know? Because it's like, if you're gonna make a show about that, I feel like you showcase it real. And like, I think they did it pretty well so far. That gives me a little more reason to like give it an 8 instead of like a 7, for example. I can really appreciate that they really went all in on that instead of kind of like being like afraid or like half-assing, skirting around like the ratings maybe. I'm glad they kind of owned it.
Well, that's great then. So we all agreed then.
It was a pretty high start for me. It hooked me in pretty
Yeah.
well.
I mean, I don't even know how to end this because we're just gonna go straight into the spoilers, right?
That's how you end it.
Yeah,
We're gonna
if
go
you-
right into the spoilers in 3, 2,
Okay, here we go.
1. Alright guys, now it's the spoiler zone. We're back with myself, Mr. K, and of course your host and the one and only Condiz.
Spoiler alert!
Okay, so where do we start?
I mean, I guess episode 1?
Episode 1, I want us to get right into this. Episode 1, I want Mr. K to just talk about this, because this is called The End.
Yeah, you start with the end.
And there's so much to unpack here.
You see so many storylines. I was low-key a little confused at first when I was watching it. What did you think for the first episode?
I really liked it. I mean, obviously it's not perfect, but I think it was really great. Like, you're just kind of establishing this world, the characters and stuff that you're going to like be attached to. This cowboy, like Mr. Howard, just kind of like learning his backstory. When you see, what was it, Maximus?
Yeah.
When you see those
Power armor suits just walking.
like some of these big dogs in like slow motion, you're like, holy shit. And the sound effects when they take like each step,
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
it's so good.
They did that pretty well. What did you have in your mind when you watched episode 1, Mr. Condiz?
Like, again, because I never played the games or anything like that, so
Yeah.
I was just kind of going in with an open mind, not really knowing what to expect or anything like that. I was just kind of surprised by it, surprised by music and everything, how it's like all like songs and everything from the 60s, which is just kind of wild to think
How
about.
about from the 30s?
And then
Yeah.
I thought it was 60s. You gotta fact check that. You gotta double check that. But
Yeah. I will right here on this fucking. Hey, Mr. K is doing it right now. One of the.
I'm done.
I mean,
I'm
not
done.
one, but.
I'm out of here.
Hey, get your ass down here.
Do we remember how it ended? It was the ghoul. It was with the ghoul.
Oh, they unearthed the ghoul.
They unearthed the ghoul, and the ghoul killed those guys, and then he left. He's like, I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
Yeah,
and then
episode 1, you see the 3 characters. You see Lucy, you see Maximus, and then you see the ghoul.
I really like that ending because I'm gonna really gel with this character. Mm-hmm. So what'd you guys think? This is called The End, episode 1. Quick thoughts before we move on.
Good
I mean,
introduction to
I
the
think they should just call it the beginning because it's, first episode of the season, in my opinion. But
So then we move on to episode 2, The Target. This is more of a focus on the Brotherhood of Steel. We kind of get this sense of like Lucy wandering. Like this is kind of like the first time I get a sense of like, okay, I feel like Lucy is the player, like wandering through this wasteland and stuff. And I love that.
yeah.
Episode 2 is where they're introduced my goat, one of the best characters.
Oh fuck.
My
Granny
boy-
Dread.
Granny Dread!
True, but also, but also, my boy Dog Meat, bro. Episode 2 is where you see the scientists with the experiments they did on a bunch of the dogs.
I'm skimming through a lot of stuff. I know, I'm sorry. There was a scene with, so I think his name was Lord Titus. I think he was the overseer of
knight.
the Brotherhood of Steel, but he was the overseer.
The
No.
overseer isn't Titus. Titus was just a knight that Maximus. The different older guy. I don't remember his name.
I thought that was
but
the same guy.
That's not Titus.
Okay, well, whatever. So that it was a knight. You see him in the power armor, and he's all big and powerful. But then he's so scared.
Yeah.
He's not a warrior. And then he asks, oh, you have this armor. Why don't you go check out the cave? Why do I have to go in?
Right.
And he's like, you have to earn this armor. People who wear this armor earn this armor. And it's a sign of bravery.
Bro, yeah, Maximus
and
said, I have
honor.
no armor,
Yeah.
and he said, you have bravery. Yeah, no, bro, that guy was a dickhead.
You earn the suit through acts of bravery. This is an act of bravery.
I agree.
You know, like the saying, never meet your heroes? Maximus is someone that we've seen in the show as idolized the knights, and it's like the knights gave him a home and a belonging after he came
Yeah.
out of that refrigerator he came out of as a kid. So, for him to finally be able to work as a squire under a knight, and he turns out to be this guy, that's gotta be such an awakening for Maximus.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, they get whooped by the bear.
Yeah. the
Oh,
bear-
I love that. We get a
Yeah.
great showdown.
That's what I mean. I love all the animals and creatures, and
Because they're all like mutated. And
yeah, it's kind of cool to see.
Episode 2 ends. I mean, we skip a little bit then if we want to talk about the end, because episode 2 is also where Granny Dread.
Down.
Lucy runs into Granny Dread And then Dog pulls
Yes.
up as well. They all pull up, and then so does Maximus, because why the fuck wouldn't he, right? All the characters converge in one spot, they all scrap, and then it ends with basically Ghoul and Maximus scrapping, and Lucy and the scientist getting away. Episode 2 ends with basically the scientist who got one of his legs blown off by the Ghoul in the town, who now has a prosthetic leg and is also bleeding out from it. Episode 2 ends with the scientist and Lucy reaching like a little bit of a respite, a little bit of a rest spot, and then the scientist just like, hey yo, by the way, I'm gonna die. And he's like, here, all you need to take is my head, so do your thing. Cut off my head, I'm going to go ahead and die. That's hilarious.
Yeah, go for it. Just do it.
No, you see, I've just taken a cyanide pill.
Did you have any...
Thoughts on this?
Just kind of what you guys said. I think you guys pretty much like got it all. I really like the bear, and I just love the whole Maximus in his suit and everything like that. It's pretty sweet.
You're really feeling the strength of the power armor this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's like, okay, so something is in this guy's neck, and then it kind of ends, and now we're on episode 3, the head. This episode, so Lucy is basically just trying to figure out what she's going to do with this head. How this is going
she
to...
has decapitated the guy.
Yeah.
The scientist. I really like how you can see like Lucy's progression, or if you will, regression. Because like in this world, the vault is the rich class, the high class, you know. The vault is something you can only access as like a rich person before the Fallout. Everyone that grew up in the vault or was born in the vault is like a sheltered class of people compared to the rest of like the open world, the overworld.
Yeah,
as they call
they're
it.
all like the
Real world.
non-sheltered, where they just have to like fight and like survive for like
Exactly,
everything.
yeah. So that's cool to see. Like her realizing more and more about the world out there.
Yeah, like not really much to say. Like I didn't really have too much to say.
Episode 3 shows that the axolotl, the big fucking, as we called it, the abomination, ends up snatching the head from Lucy.
She loses it.
Yeah, the monster swallows it.
I love this because it's...
It ain't easy. Like, the fuck you gonna do now?
And that's just kind of like Fallout fashion. Like things get messed up. Things aren't going to go as planned.
Yeah, that's how it always goes.
But
Condiz, since you haven't played any Fallout, we have to do some sort of Fallout video or do some sort of thing. Because it's so
Yeah,
good.
for sure.
That'd be fun
Go
to
ahead.
do a Fallout playthrough together, yeah.
Go ahead, Mr. K.
This is also the episode where we see Maximus trying to repair his armor. In his previous battle with the ghoul, he got fucked up. He got real fucked up. He got clapped up by the ghoul, bro.
Initially, you would think his power armor is destroyed. Mm-hmm. He can't repair this armor at all. Mm-hmm. But he manages.
And it's really funny, remember?
Yeah.
He goes to the repair place. He's like, hey, can you repair this? She says,
Yes, I can. For 5 caps.
and what does this motherfucker have?
I only have 4.
Maximus our boy got 4 caps. So, and he tries, you know, he's like, can you do it for 4? She says, nah. No. And then he turns around and, oh shit, what do you see? They're buying teeth, baby. So your boy sells teeth. And by the sounds of what he said to the lady afterwards, not just one, multiple. So he now has more than 5 caps. So he goes back to the lady. He's like, all right, now I have the money. Fix this, and if you do it fast, I'll tip you. And so what does she do?
Mr. Noah?
This messes me up because you would have thought there'd be a process with it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yeah.
That shit's so funny.
It's extra if you do it fast.
Thanks.
And it's like, that's funny because that's exactly how it would be in the game.
Yeah, and then he walks away looking pissed. That's
Like,
so
I want
funny.
something repaired. Can you please repair it for me? It costs this much. And it's just instant.
Yo. Right after that, what do we see? The ghoul. The ghoul has now caught up to Lucy. The ghoul is also looking for the head due to the bounty, but Lucy's lost the head. And so what does he do? He begins torturing her. He ties her up, just submerging her, dipping her in and out, or so we think. It's really funny, I thought. The whole time she's like, why are you doing this? Torturing doesn't do anything. Torture is useless. You shouldn't torture people. And my man just goes, I'm not torturing you, sweetheart. I'm using you as bait. And just dips her back in. See, he's hunting. He's got a bigger plan.
Which was insane because...
He's trying to lure the monster.
Beneath that tough, thick exterior of his is a nice, sweet milk chocolate almond center. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's one way of putting it.
After that, we haven't talked too much about the vault after Lucy left it, if we even addressed that at all. But after Lucy left, who was left in the vault, right? There's two key characters. There's her brother, Norm.
Yeah, the dude from Hannah Montana.
And the goddamn cousin that's in love with her. So this is where we see, like, you know, they're trying to have a meeting about, like, what do we do about the Raider prisoners? We already have not enough resources. And Norm just says we should kill them all, basically. And they're like, oh, how could you? Oh. They all freak out. They have, like, a little aristocratic freak out. Anyways, after that, after Maximus gets his thing repaired, he radios to, like, his home base, right? To the Brotherhood. And they end up sending him a squire. Okay, Maximus is now impersonating Titus. Do you remember the squire and Maximus was fighting the monster, and the squire looked like he was gonna get swallowed in half, the entire lower half of him?
Yeah, that was pretty good.
And then we see a little bit more of the ghouls past. A little bit of lore on who the Vault Pip-Boy might be. Or the Pip-Boy, you know, like the Vault Boy, the icon.
I love this!
Thumbs up, and that's the end of the episode. That's the end of episode 3. I enjoy this, all the, like, foreshadowing they do about each of the characters. Because, like, this ending, the ending for this episode was literally just nothing but, like, a bit of, like, lore. It's just more backstory. Gives you a bit more context about the world, and I really like that about the ending of this as well. I had no idea that he was the model for the Vault Boy. That's cool as hell.
Yeah, some things I don't even, like, pick up on like that or realize, but yeah, it is kind of interesting.
I'll just have his name on the screen, whoever this actor is. He does a phenomenal job at portraying, like, this ghoul character that he's doing, but also all a cartoon.
Actor,
yeah. For me, it just comes full circle, and I love seeing that. It's a great ending for me. That was
Episode 3, The Head.
That was The Head. Okay.
And now we go to
4,
The Ghoul.
Ghouls.
Yeah, so we see the continuation of the Ghoul. We see the rest of their journey through the desert, where Lucy's trying to get him to treat her humane, trying to get some water, but he's saying, nah, fuck that. And they visit the Ghoul's friend. They visit a fellow ghoul who seems to be a little kind of more, you know, a little tweaking out a bit, you know? And I didn't expect what was going to happen here. I really didn't. I thought it was going to go a different direction. What did you guys think?
His character. It shows you the type of character he is.
The ghoul's been alive for, like, hundreds of years now. I guess we should say what happened first. Like, they visit the ghoul's friend. They visit Roger.
Yep.
Who's tweaking out. He doesn't have enough, like, medication left. He's about to go feral. He's about to lose his mind and lose the last of his humanity that's left. And I truly thought they were gonna have some kind of deal, or like they're gonna get a new ally, or information broker kind of thing. But no, the ghoul just shoots him. And what did he do afterwards? Honestly, I thought this was really funny. He made ass jerky. But yeah, what do you want to say?
I was gonna say that this is just a huge reveal for me, because this is Codsworth. I was like, wow, they did a really good job at creating Codsworth here. This is what I'm talking about. The Easter eggs, they're absolutely nailing them.
Yeah.
This was a great reveal for me.
I agree, yeah. This episode doesn't end there. Lucy enters the place where Codsworth, or as they called him there, Snip,
There you go.
the robot escorts her to examine her physical condition. And Lucy's like, oh, because she can finally have a conversation with someone, right? Even if it's a robot who only has, like, pre-recorded dialogue. She's kind of talking and opening up a little bit more. She's like, oh, I thought I was sold here to be a sex slave. And we see Snip go, oh, what? That's disgusting. I'm just gonna harvest your organs.
I thought I was here to be a sex slave.
What? No! What a disgusting idea! I'm simply going to harvest your organs.
Huh?
What did you think of him, Con?
He's pretty funny for sure.
I just wanted to quickly bring this up now. Steak.
There is none.
There is no stakes.
In what way, though? Like...
In any way. She comes across a stim pack.
Yep.
And she survives.
Based on that, a detail that because actually, no, I agree, because stim packs in the game, basically, yeah.
Because like, that's how it works.
It's how a heal is in the game. You just use it and you heal, right? But I like that what they did in the show where, Lucy used a stim pack on her initial stab wound. But then in, like, episode 2, we also saw that she still had to, like, staple up the wound. Basically do, like, a bit of care on it. That was dangerous.
Okay, well, let's say you're right, and let's say in another adventure, she really gets fucked up. Like, she's, like, dead.
She's, like, dead, and she's crawling in the rubble.
She finds a stim pack.
But then also, think about the entire desert journey she had with that scientist once he got his prosthetic foot. If they just had one stim pack, he could have been fine. He didn't have to kill himself, right? Theoretically. Would you agree with that? Even if stim packs were that, like, cure-all, like,
Yeah.
I'm mortally wounded and I could use the stim pack and just completely be fine. Even if it was like that, it's not so easily available. When Maximus got knocked out at the end there, if she had a stim pack with her, that would have been fine. She wouldn't have thought he was dead. When the guy's foot was blown off in the first place, if she had a stim pack, she could have just stabbed that bitch into him and maybe grown him a new foot. Theoretically. It's like, I don't know, like Jinx or Vine Arcane were like, oh, they're gonna die in the next episode. Or like, I don't know, Daenerys and Game of Thrones, even though I never watched it. Oh, she's gonna die in the next episode. Like,
But
you know they're never gonna die that easily. Anyways, we're getting off track.
I really hate saying she's a Mary Sue, but she kind of is.
But yeah, okay. I get what you're saying.
What's the next episode, okay?
It's the trap. That's episode 6. Lucy's all happy because she's finally in another vault again, and Maximus is kind of like, oh shit, what's all this about? But then he eventually kind of warms up a little bit, and it's funny the reverse dynamic a little bit. It's Lucy that eventually becomes a bit more suspicious of everything, and Maximus is just kind of like, hey yo, this place got TV and good food.
Yeah, he's like pumped. I think it's a big thing for me if I'm watching a movie, if I'm watching a TV show, and I can just almost picture them reading those lines or something off a script or something backstage, and it just doesn't seem real.
They give life to the script.
Yeah, just like someone reading the line and reading the script, and then that's it, you know?
That's so key. Acting is just so huge for me. And I really thought the acting was really good here.
Yeah, I thought so too.
All right, episode 7. This is called The Radio. Let me tell you.
You didn't like 7? Oh, you hate the whole show. Why is that?
No. I feel like we're kind of dragging our heels. You know?
Is that bad to say?
No, then speak on it. Why were you bored? Discuss why you felt about it.
I didn't hate it.
If you hate it, you hate it. If you loved it, you loved it. If you thought it was just like, all right,
there were
then
just
you thought
moments.
so too.
There were just moments that I was really bored. I had high expectations. That's all I'll say.
I think season 2 will determine or like adjust my ranking. Yeah, there's more build up here. You see the ghoul get the location for where Moldaver is, get the head.
Yeah.
Or I guess just to find Moldaver, I guess, as he knows her personally. And then Lucy's doing her adventurous shit in Vault 4, and then she gets caught. And then this is where Thaddeus meets that mysterious doctor, bro. The chicken fucker. And yeah, he heals him. But at the end of this episode, Betty decides to move a bunch of the 33 people to 32. So then that brings us to the last episode. The beginning. Yeah,
So-
okay, the Brotherhood. Because remember, Max caught up to Thaddeus, the squire, where we found out that Thaddeus, after meeting the chicken fucker doctor. So we see the Brotherhood readying up, while Lucy reaches her destination with the head. She's finally about to come face to face with Moldaver, and we go back to Vault 31, where we see Norm, the younger brother, discovering more and more shit that he never knew about. The little machine sound he heard turns out to be a brain in like a robot, like a little Futurama kind of thing.
Yeah.
Big mountain!
He finds like cryogenic pods like straight out of fucking like the Matrix. We also see in a flashback that Coop has opted to spy on his wife and listen into her, you know, work meetings and stuff. And with the meeting with all the different companies like Vault, what was it? Robco? Was it? And then
Big mountain!
like you said,
Big mountain!
we find out that they were the ones behind the whole fallout. And then you see a little bit more of them having a discussion like what they can do with the different vaults, how they can experiment and try out all their sick ideas for it, as you know, one would expect from the controlling class of the world with all the money. As Coop is listening in, Barb's assistant, Mr. Hank, who we've been told is a massive fan of Coop, big fan of Mr. Howard, right? He's brought in and introduced. And who the fuck did this guy turn out to be? Do you remember? Who is Hank? Who is Howard's biggest fan? It was Lucy's dad. Hank.
He's got a lot of secrets.
Yep. What did you think when Moldaver was basically just like lore dumping on Lucy, like, hey yo, this is what your mama was like?
You know what? When we got to this point, I actually liked it because it was like this big twist.
Yeah.
A lot of it was like wandering, doing like all these other things, which was fine, and that's in Fallout fashion. But when we get to these big moments matter.
Yeah.
So when we got here, I was like, oh my gosh. And it was like a big twist. I really felt all of that. I felt like we were at the end of the game.
Of the 7 episodes, they spent so long building up like a big moment. Yeah. And then we find out that the head that Lucy worked so hard to bring over to Moldaver, which we initially thought might have been like a mutation or something, it's the cold fusion. is an infinite power source that she needs. Yeah, Lucy delivers the goal, learns about what her dad really is, and at the same time, the Brotherhood comes crashing in because Maximus wants to get his dick wet, and he wants to rescue Lucy. And a big battle happens. I found it kind of funny when there was a big like shootout happening. You know, like the whole building may have as well have been under siege between the Brotherhood and Moldaver's forces because of like the information, the mental shock that Lucy just got. She's just standing there. Not only is she standing there, she's standing in an exposed spot at the top of the building where it seems just so fucking easily vulnerable for like a missile strike. You know, and she's just standing there staring at her dad, and I'm like, damn.
But hold on, to interject.
Yeah.
Her father was also, because I don't even know if this was brought up, she didn't know who he was, where he was from, how long he had been living. Like, he was actually one of like the key members responsible for the nuking of Shady's Sands.
It was part of the company that decided to just
which
nuke
is
everything.
insane.
Yeah. I think they did do a really good job of like bringing in all the, whether it's different factions from the lore or just like the general like worldscape of the lore itself. They did a really good job at bringing that to life, I feel like, in the show. You know, it's kind of funny because like Lucy is at this point kind of being like, oh, she's having doubts about her father, you know? She had this entire journey up till now to rescue her father. But after Moldaver tells her the truth, she's kind of like, damn. You can see her like staring at him like, shit, do I even want to free this guy? I found it really funny when Maximus came in and then the dad, this smart motherfucker, he's like, yo, I'm her dad.
Get me out of here.
And then Max shoots the cage without any hesitation. So the dad's out now. And then you see him get into his power armor and he's like, hey, yo, you're coming with me, my daughter. And now you see Max trying to be like, oh, wait a minute. Wait. I can't, we gotta fight. And then he gets knocked out in one punch. I really appreciate also the detail of them bringing the Ghoul and Hank together at the end there.
That is pretty sick for sure. No, all in all, I did really like season 1. Sets it up good for more potential. Yeah, but season 2, it's good.
Yeah?
It's really good.
Alright, bet.
Yeah.
But we should wrap it up now. So, Lucy leaves with the Ghoul because the Ghoul chases off her dad. And then her dad beat Maximus, and she thought Maximus was dead. And then we see Maximus awake later, and then Moldaver, critically injured, comes into the room. She finishes what she set out to do, provide power for her city, and then she sits down next to her old friend, the ghoulified Rose, Lucy's mother, who's already dead, and she shares a couple of words, and she talks to Maximus a little bit. And we see Maximus's companions come in the room, believing that he killed the opposition leader, Moldaver. They start praising him. All hail Knight Maximus. So his position was unclear from season 1 because he wasn't an official knight, right? His knight died and he took the armor and he's basically acting rogue almost until he got caught. So this, for me, sets up like what his role really would be in season 2 because now he has his fellow troops' support. They all believe he killed the opposition leader.
I feel like some of these characters that we're introduced to in this first season, all of this stuff that is happening is a part of the world building. And even like with Maximus, he's like one of the main leaders.
Go back to episode 1. Of the 3 characters that were all introduced, Lucy, Maximus, and the Ghoul.
Yeah.
The Ghoul and Lucy are now moving together. And Maximus, while he had a relationship with Lucy, had connected with Lucy and also the Ghoul because they fought, he's now kind of on like a separate path, but we know they're gonna meet again in the future.
Oh, for sure.
With Maximus being in like a completely different position. But then can you please take us away about what we saw at the very end there?
So Lucy establishes an ally with the Ghoul, and they look into the distance,
and we see New Vegas on the horizon. What the fuck is going on? What are we doing here? Condes, help me out. What the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, I think it's just foreshadowing and just setting up the next season.
Lost my fucking mind. I don't even know what to say.
I mean, that's not even much of a spoiler. We just see the city at the end. That's it.
So excited to see that.
Yeah, you were freaking out. That brings us to the end of this review, and I'll say I enjoyed the first season quite a bit. It drew me. If I compare it to like the last thing we watched together, which was Twisted, I would say this show, at least for now, in season 1, has drawn me in more. World building is more interesting. I
agree with that.
And there is like more characters to kind of like latch onto and like build a connection to, and like, you know, kind of build attachment to.
Yep.
Yeah. So like, they did a good job, and from like what little I know about the source material, I think they did a pretty faithful job to recreating it, which is nice to see. Like, I know adapting games into media is hard. A lot of examples in the past that weren't good, but I think season 1 is off to a pretty good start with this one, for me at least.
Yeah, no, same. I think it sets up a good foundation, Who knows what's to come, like, in the future seasons and everything, and that's what I'm just kind of excited for sure.
Mm-hmm. And you?
I had a great time, obviously, like, great foundation, like what you just said, Con. And there's so much potential here. If they're going into New Vegas, I cannot wait to go into New Vegas. That would be insane. Well, thank you guys so much. Sure. And Mr. Khan, just having different dynamics on the show. Mr. K, ending thoughts?
Thank you for watching.
We'll see you next time. Peace out.
Okay. Have a good night, guys.